This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining. Shalom Aleichem. We continue the Orchos Chaim of the Rosh. We're up to Ois Mem Aleph. Ois Mem Aleph speaks about a very interesting midah. I would suggest it's connected to Ois Mem. Ois Mem spoke about tznios. Tznios in terms of modesty in the bathroom, modesty with one's wife, modesty in conversation. There is a type of modesty that is not practiced as much as it should be, and that is modesty in terms of revealing information that one is not authorized to reveal. Namely, that means as follows. Chazal tell us that if somebody tells you not to say something, then one is not allowed to say something. Somebody tells you information and he says, don't reveal it, you're not allowed to. Number one, you're violating the das of the one who gave you the information, and number two, it's a lack of modesty. So it's interesting. Divulging information that you're not authorized to divulge is a lack of tznius. And even if the person didn't say, don't say it. If somebody told you information in confidence, he didn't say, don't tell anyone, but it was somewhat personal information, then you're not allowed to tell somebody else. So I would say that's the connection between Mem and Mem Aleph. This is also another form of modesty. Says the Rosh, Soid la'acher al tegal. A secret to another do not reveal. Gam es hadvarim asher yidabru lefanecha. Okay, so the first thing is don't reveal a secret. And gam es hadvarim asher yidabru lefanecha, even something spoken before you. In other words, even if the person wasn't even talking straight to you, you overheard personal information. Shalei al derech zeh, and they didn't even say it in complete confidence. You heard somebody tell somebody something that's personal. You didn't say it as like top secret, it wasn't classified. Toimnam b'karev libecha, hide it in your heart. Rabbi Chaim Kanievsky in his commentary to the Orchos Chaim writes that the Isser revealing a secret comes from a pasuk in Mishlei, Hoylech Rachil Megala Soid. A talebearer reveals a secret. V'neman Ruach, a faithful person, Mechasa Davar, he covers over something. The Gemara in Sanhedrin says in Daf Lamed Aleph, there was a student that he had a reputation as a Megala Soid. Why? Because he revealed something after 22 years. Rav Ami kicked him out of the Beis Medrash. Why? He said he's a Megala Soid. Rav Chaim Kanievsky says the source of even information that something is said to you, not al derech soid, you should not reveal, comes from the Gemara in Yuma Daf Daled Amud Beis. The Gemara says, Minayin lo omer davar lechaveroi, that you're now, in other words, how do I know you're not to say something unless you're told explicitly to say it? That we learn out of a pasuk. Then the Rosh continues. Gam im tishma'e me'acher, even if you hear it from someone else, al toimar kvar shamati, don't say I already heard it. Listen carefully to the fine music of the Rosh. Let's say you know personal information about somebody. Somebody told you. And then another person comes along and says, oh, I heard something about so-and-so. And you know it, you heard it. So it's not like if you say, yeah, you're adding something because the person is telling you and someone already else told you, so all you want to say is, yeah, I heard that already. Don't say that. That's also not tznius. Say, why is that not tznius? Someone else is telling me. I'm not revealing it. Someone else is telling me. So what's not tznius for me to say, oh yeah, I heard that already? The answer is, because whoever told you the personal information, he wants it not to be discussed. So if a third person then tells you that information and you say, I heard it, although you're not releasing the information, but you're strengthening the fact that this is something that people are talking about. So if somebody tells you, okay, they told you. But for you to say, oh yeah, I heard that already, so you're just being mechazik the inyan that people are talking about something that's personal information. Do not say I heard it already. Just saying I heard it already is also a violation of tznius. So you'll say, okay, but I could tell my wife, right? No, you can't tell your wife. Somebody tells you something in confidence, it's also to tell your wife. From one's wife, guard the opening of your mouth. Just because you're given personal information, that does not authorize you to disclose it to your spouse. That's also lack of tznius. What do you mean? But my spouse is my best friend. Good for you. Call her whatever you want. But it's still a lack of modesty to reveal information that someone disclosed to you in confidence. Now, Rav Goldberg wrote a sefer on Chumash called Shiras David. I'm hoping I'm going to be in Cleveland over Shabbos. Maybe I'll be zoicha to meet Rav Goldberg. But the Ramban famously asks, when God told Abraham that Sarah is going to have a child, even though this was the best information that Avraham Avinu ever heard and the greatest information Sarah could have ever heard, the Ramban is bothered. Why didn't Abraham tell Sarah? And the Ramban says that, well, Avraham did not have a chance to tell her. He was too busy. He did the milah, and in the course of the milah, God told him, and he just didn't have a chance. Rav Goldberg says, no, I have a different reason why Avraham didn't tell Sarah. Because God told Avraham personal information. He didn't tell Avraham to tell Sarah. So he didn't tell her to tell Sarah. He's not allowed to tell Sarah. Now this is a very difficult answer in my opinion. Because clearly the Ramban doesn't hold of this. Clearly the Ramban is of the opinion that if God tells Nevuah to Avraham, he would have had to tell Sarah, and he should have told Sarah, just he didn't have time. But it would not, in the opinion of the Ramban, this would not have been a violation of something that somebody tells you in confidence. You can only repeat if they give you authorization. But in any event, this is how Rav Goldberg addresses the Ramban's question. That is Ois Mem Aleph. Bez Hashem, we'll pick it up Monday. Ois Mem Beis. Wishing everyone a wonderful night. Don't miss tonight's shir. It's Mamish Oyoim V'Noira. 8:30. Hope to see everybody. Kol Tov. Have a wonderful night. Be well.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.